Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Drive-Thru. I'm your host, Tony T, as we broadcast live here on Pig Dog's YouTube channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out here well before the top of the hour. Well, we usually like to get you out before the primetime game, so that Boston Red Sox-Yankee game postponed. But don't worry, we'll have some season win total picks for you. Our cappers came through here with some NFL, college football, some MLB as well, future bets for you to pound on. So we'll get to those in just a minute. Here, just want to let you know we're here on the Drive-Thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Delivering you live free sports picks for the primetime games. Of course, there'll be a full schedule tomorrow, 15 games from Major League Baseball tomorrow. So we'll get back to our regular routine of giving out live free sports picks for the primetime games. Today's shows we talked about will be football heavy, a little bit of MLB futures mixed in as well. Let's take a look at who'll be on the show for today. We've got James Clark coming off his 12-1 score. We got Booker over 40 points. Damien Sauce to join us. Shane Mickle. From Las Vegas, Nevada, we got Tony Brown, Chris Ruffalo, Silva's co-host. We got El Ninos and Trey Jordan to join us as well. All right, this is how they're going to line up for today's show. Jordan, Ninos, Brown, Mickle, Sauce, Ruffalo, Clark, and then I will close this one out. All right, Chris, what do you got here? I hope this is not a sign of things that come with this postponement.
You and me both. You see Wandy Peralta and Nestor Cortez for the Yankees put on the COVID list, and you just have to wonder, how many more will this really affect after the All-Star break? Hopefully not many, but we're gonna have to take a wait and see approach. But fingers crossed, we've been waiting for stuff to come back for long enough.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, I know you got some Mountain West college football totals, so we're gonna give you a little break here. It's a long segment again, so let's go ahead and go to Skype and welcome Trey. Trey, how's it going?
It's going well. How you, Tony?
Doing great. All right, NFL season win totals. We're around the corner here. We got the camps opened up about less than a couple of weeks now. You're going to be looking here at the Giants.
Yeah, look at the Giants. I think they're going to take a step forward this year. They did a bunch to help out Daniel Jones. I'm not a huge advocate of him. He's struggled, been sacked a lot, turnovers. But they've helped him a lot. They got Kenny Golladay, Kyle Rudolph, Kadarius Toney in the draft. They added John Ross. I mean, that's just some weapons for him there. And, of course, I saw Saquon Barkley, what do they call him, Quadzilla, back on the practice field today. So I just think he's going to have a lot of help compared to his last year when they had that second worst offense in the league. He did lose a guard, and the Giants lost a defensive tackle. But I look at this division. It's kind of a dumpster fire last year, and the Giants, they had these games where they were in it most of the way. Just one thing or another, they lost a couple by less than 5 points, and that could be that easy. That could be a win. So they were 6-10 last year. I see them getting at least 7. Hopefully, we're going to get that 8 and 9 and cash this ticket right here. But just to start off the season, they got the Broncos at home. They're 1-point underdogs. Then they go to Washington. Yep, and Washington, and then they have the Falcons. So I see them possibly, they could win all 3 of those games. I'm looking for at least 2 of them, but their schedule's not tough. They got the 25th toughest schedule, so 7th easiest schedule in the league, and I'm just not looking to back any of these other guys in this division. I'm not a strong believer in Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jalen Hurts, or Dak Prescott. I think the latter one is definitely overrated, but that's neither here or there. So I just see them getting the 7 wins and cashing this ticket. On defense, they improved a little bit. They got Adoree Jackson from Tennessee last year. They got Danny Shelton from the Browns and Leonard Williams from the Jets. Adoree Jackson reunited with Logan Ryan, that cornerback tandem, even though Logan Ryan seems to play a little more safety now, that took the Titans to the AFC Championship a couple years back. But yeah, they added all that talent, and they still have Evan Ingram and Shepard and Slayton. I just think if any time's going to happen, Deion Jones has got to have the weapons this year to take a step forward, and if he does so, I think we get at least 8 wins here.
All right, Trey's looking to get over 7 wins to 8 wins. One thing here about the Giants, they did cover 9. They were 9-7 to the spread last year. They were in close games. I like in dog situations. I liked them last year in some spots here. when you look here at the schedule, the extra game is at Miami. That's that 17th game, so that's a little rough. They're having to go to Miami with that 17th game. They don't draw that home game with that 17th game. But one thing that you have to be promising about with them is their defense, holding teams to 349 yards a game, 22 points a game. But really, Trey, it's going to be coming down to the offense. Can they get more than 18 points a game?
Yeah, they definitely added some pieces there, and Saquon Barkley coming back is going to be very huge for them. I think he only got 2 games last year, but yeah, they do have some tough games. I think they played the Chiefs, the Bucks, and but I just think in that division, I think they're going to get at least 4 wins from their division. I know they swept the Redskins last year and split with the Cowboys and the Eagles. So I see them getting at least 4 wins from their division, and then you got get 4 more somewhere around there. And I can see them being a little dark horse, surprise some people this year a little bit.
All right, Trey here on the Giants, over 7 wins, a -130. All right, Trey, we get a full slate of Major League Baseball tomorrow. Of course, that NBA comes back on Saturday. Of course, football around the corner. What do you plan having up over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Definitely going to have some baseball tomorrow. I mean, I know everybody out there we're ready to have some to bet on here again. And we hit that game last night in the NBA, which was a great game. But yeah, so we'll have plays in baseball. I'm sure we'll have at least 3 or 4 plays, and then of course when the NBA Finals comes back this weekend.
All right, guys, check out Trey Jordan over at Pick Dogs Premium. He'll have his baseball up for tomorrow. 15 games on the schedule. We cross our fingers, hope we get 15 in. Of course, if you look over at Pick Dogs Premium, you can look at Trey's profile page. He does have the rest of the season MLB pass up there. Get the rest of the season from Trey, second half, including postseason, for one low price. So visit Trey Jordan over at Pick Dogs Premium and get on board with that MLB season pass. All right, Trey, thank you for joining us here on the show. Of course, this week with a lot of football and props on the table here with that lack of action. But tomorrow we get back at it again, and we'll talk with you on Monday.
All right, looking forward to it. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Trey Jordan here on the drive-thru. All right, let's continue on here with the show. We're going to go ahead and welcome back Chris. All right, Chris, you looked at the Giants at all this season?
Yeah, it's hard to really get a read on Daniel Jones because we haven't really seen much of the good from him. We've only really seen the bad. But like Trey said, if you're putting pieces around Daniel Jones, they're putting him in a position to succeed. So for me, with the Giants, it's going to sort of be just a wait-and-see approach for a year, see how Daniel Jones thrives with his new toys in that lineup. But the pieces are definitely there for Jones to succeed.
They certainly are. Right. Football on the mind here. We're going to talk about the other New York team, and let's welcome to the show Al Ninos. You'll find out at Pick Dogs Premium. Al, what's happening?
Well, as Trey mentioned, that NBA game came through, but unfortunately had the game postponed today. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to tomorrow. And, looking at the Jets today for our pick. So
all right, we got New York on our minds here. We got the Giants season win total with Trey coming in over. You're looking at the Jets, Jets, Jets.
Yeah, we looked at the Chiefs yesterday. So looking at the other end of the spectrum today with the Jets coming off a 2-14 season, they're so bad they can't even be bad enough to draft Trevor Lawrence. So they had to settle for Zach Wilson, who was a very fun quarterback to back last season, but I think it'll be a different story for him in the NFL, at least early on. He won't have those huge windows he had back in college, and I definitely see a couple more interceptions for him on those deeper shots. But no, he should be a good quarterback eventually. I just think it's a tough spot for him to begin his NFL career on a pretty rough team with a horrible defense too. The offense has maybe a couple of playmakers that can catch the ball for him. Again, nothing too special there, but a horrible defense backing that up. So if you like the Jets, I think there'd be a lot more value just betting them on a game-to-game basis, where you'd be getting points with them or plus money. They're already +4, +185 on the money line. Week 1 against the Panthers, so I'd rather take a shot on that than them getting over 6 wins at whatever it is, -110, -115. So yeah, I'm looking at the Jets under here.
All right, Al Nino says looking at the Jets under 6 wins in this one. All right, Chris, we're looking here at the Jets, a team that averages 15 points a game, gave up 29. Robert Saleh is now the head coach. I wasn't really a big fan of him in San Francisco. He's got his hands full here.
Absolutely, he does. And to be honest, this isn't me. This isn't coming from a Patriots fan, but the Jets suck. This is not a team that Zach Wilson's going to make that big of a difference in his rookie year. I think he'll help the Jets, and this is going to be a learning experience. And as good as he was at BYU, it takes rookie quarterbacks a lot of time to develop, maybe 1 or 2 years. And as much as I like Rob Saleh and the intensity that he brings to the table, I just don't think that I don't think the Jets get to 6 wins. I don't see them jumping from 2 to 6 or 7. So I'm with Al on the under here.
All right, looking here with the under. There's too much to fix on both sides of the ball. Got to fix that defense. Got to fix that offense. So El Nino's here under 6 wins, minus 115. The extra game for them, by the way, is Philadelphia. They catch them at home. So that's a little one there for you guys there, that extra game, a home game. All right, Al, what are you going to have up at Pick Dogs Prim as we're moving into the second half of start of baseball tomorrow? We got 15 games scheduled for Friday. Of course, the NBA's back on Saturday. We got football coming up. We see here over the past 7 days, 331 units of profit. What are you going to have up over at the site?
Yeah, I went through a bit of a slump, as you just mentioned. Snap out of it, and hope to keep rolling. Definitely looking forward. I love my baseball, so definitely looking forward tomorrow. Finally got a normal slate of games to bet on. I said hopefully everything starts right, but yeah. So looking forward to that, and then the NBA, as you mentioned, looking to finish that season with a couple more wins, and yeah, more baseball, and then looking forward to this NFL.
So look, guys, give a peek over at Pick Dogs Prim with El Nino's here. Past 7 days, 331 units of profit, all documented. He's got his long-term passes up there, 3, 7, and 30 all sports pass. Get on board. Let's get that action going on for tomorrow. Friday's game. He'll have baseball locked and loaded. Of course, NBA coming back. Of course, he's got his MLB season pass as well up there. If you'd like to get every play from Major League Baseball from Al until the final game of the World Series, you can get on board with his MLB season pass. And if you like, you can also add a second capper with our 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Al, as always, thank you for joining us on the show. Great having you. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk with you next week.
All right, we'll see you then. Have a good one, guys.
El Nino's here on the drive. So let's continue on here with Chris. And reminder, guys, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Free picks every single day. Of course, it all gets started with that morning show. You got Mitch, Rod Zawacki, Brian Bittler. And those YouTube member premium VIPs, follow that link below and get signed up. Great value there. Of course, we're the drive-thru. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time with live free sports picks for the primetime games. And great time to subscribe. Football around the corner. A lot of baseball to talk about. We still got at least 2 more games from the NBA Finals, so stay tuned there. And of course, as always, guys, we always ask for help. Help us build our audience with those likes, those thumbs up, Chris. It really helps us out.
Absolutely, Tony. They help us out a ton. The drive-through. We're just coming up, I believe, in our first couple of years of doing this thing for Pick Dogs, and it's only going to get bigger and better. But again, it's all because of you guys that watch these shows, that give us those thumbs up, those likes and subscriptions. They mean the world to us. They help us more than I think anybody can ever explain. And just keep them coming in because, again, we appreciate all the love and support.
We absolutely do. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Football on the mind, some NFL. Let's welcome Tony Brown from Las Vegas, Nevada. Tony, what's going on?
What's going on with you guys out there? How's it going?
It's going great, going great. All right, Tony Brown, you're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers today.
Yep, it's set at 8.5, and we're going to go with the under. It's so many reasons, but I'm going to break it down to the 3 main reasons why it's going to go under 8.5 wins for Pittsburgh this season. One, they have the toughest schedule in the NFL. Based on the win percentages of the teams from last year, they have literally the hardest schedule in the league, so that never bodes well for anyone. 2, they lose Antonio Brown. They got all this trouble on defense. Pouncey is a Hall of Famer on the line. He retired. So many holes they needed to fill. First draft pick, they take a running back. So it's like they're not even playing for this season. They're playing for the future. And besides Tom Brady, Father Time is undefeated. Drew Brees retired. Tom Brady's the only one hanging around from that era. Eli Manning retired. Ben Roethlisberger is another year older. So you have the old quarterback, didn't address any of the major issues in the draft, and you have the toughest schedule in the league, and in my opinion, the toughest division in the league with Baltimore, the Cleveland Browns, who they lost to in the first round last year, and Cincinnati, well, they're not that good. So Baltimore and Cleveland is good in that division. They're in the AFC. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL, an aging quarterback, and they didn't address any issues in the thing. I do not see them as a 500 team. I definitely don't see them as an over 500 team. So 8.5 wins, maybe a little too high. We're going under.
All right, Tony Brown going under in this one. Of course, to the Steelers, their extra game is a home game against Seattle. They will be playing teams, obviously, in their division. And, of course, they go outside and play the NFC North. But the extra game will be an NFC West game against Seattle Seahawks. All right, Chris, it's a big drop from where they were last year.
Yeah, I know it's crazy to think that a total could be set at 8.5 for a team that started the year 11-0 last year. But the Steelers, flamed out. They lost 5 of their last 6, including the playoff game. And like Tony said, there's just too many problems with the Steelers. Roethlisberger's getting older. Not only is he, not the mobile quarterback he used to be, now he's turning into, a dink and dunk short pass kind of quarterback in a league where it's basically been explosive offense first and ask questions later. And it's going to be hard for the Steelers. And I think that, like Tony said, they've got Baltimore in that division. Cleveland's getting better, and I think if Joe Burrow stays healthy, Cincinnati could be a 9-8 team, and that just puts the Steelers at the bottom of that division. So I like the under here as well.
All right, agreement here on the under. Of course, that extra game is Seattle. Always tough. Pete Carroll coming into town, not a game you want to overlook. Of course, it's out of conference game there as well. Under 8.5 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Tony Brown, as you know, football around the corner. We've got the baseball starting tomorrow, 15 games. We've got that right now tonight, but 15 games on the schedule tomorrow. NBA back on Saturday. Football around the corner. What are you going to have over at Pick Dogs Premium?
We got it all. I mean, if it's a time to get that all sports pass, it's now. Whether you just want it to see, you want it for a month if you really interested, or if you want it for the full VIP, if you're a gambler and this is what you do, it's time. We got football coming up. We got baseball playoffs will be coming up. We got hockey will restart, basketball. We might have like 4 or 5 sports running at one time. Just one day buying all those individual plays, it'll equal up to buying a pass for a week or so. So if you're serious about making money betting sports, you can't afford not to get the pass. You get every single pick I release from ever playoffs and championships included for one low price.
Absolutely, guys. Got on board with Tony Brown's all sports passes. You got 3, 7:30 all sports passes. Every play he released for that time period over at Pick Dogs Premium. If it's within your budget, he also has a 1-year all sports pass. Looks like here when you do the math, it amounts to just about $110 a month. So not too bad if you want to get on board with this all sports pass for the year from Tony Brown. Remember, when you do that, you'll get the entire NFL season, the entire college football season, the entire NBA and NHL season. Remember, they're going to finish back to the old. They're going to go back to the old starting time. They'll finish in mid June. So that'll cover those seasons for you, as well as parts of baseball. So get on board with Tony Brown. He's got his long-term passes up there. If you had a second capper, 2-for-1 capper promotion, your best value there. All right, Tony, as always, great to have you on the show. Have yourself a great time. Stay cool there in Vegas, and we'll talk soon.
Impossible to stay cool here, man. It's so hot. It's like I need to call some scientists. This can't be real. But thanks for having me, man. Always a pleasure to be here. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, next week, Tony Brown here on The Drive. Dude, let's continue on here on the coverage with Chris. Now we're going to turn our attention now to college football. And to help us out here, we're going to look at here at the Big 12. We got Shane Mickle, who you'll find over at Pick Dogs Premium, sitting number 1 this year in the NBA, improving from his number 2 status in the NBA last year. So, Shane, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight?
Outstanding. All right, Shane, let's take a look at college football. You're going to look here at the Big 12, who the team to win the championship.
Yeah, after making this pick, I kind of laughed at myself because I was talking about not doing futures with low odds, and now I'm giving you a future that's right around plus 270. But I think the only 2 teams that can win this future for the Big 12 are Iowa State or Oklahoma. I don't think there's anyone else in this conference that's remotely good. And so I think it comes down to the Big 12 championship game again. Last year during the regular season, Iowa State beat Oklahoma during the regular season, but then lost them in the Big 12 championship game. I don't think that happens again this year. They got Breece Hall and Brock Purdy back. It wouldn't be shocking if either of those guys, were in New York accepting the Heisman, and they got both of them on the team. Their defense is going to be stellar again. I think that they get the job done. I've seen anywhere from about plus 240 to plus 290. I'm going to take the Iowa State Cyclones to win the Big 12.
All right, Shane and Iowa State Cyclones to win the Big 12. All right, Chris, they did lose some offense there on the Iowa State side, but when you look at their home games, they do draw Texas and Oklahoma State at home. I guess their biggest competitor is Oklahoma, so they can go undefeated and lose to Oklahoma. They're probably going to be slotted into that final against the Sooners.
Yeah, that's why I think that Iowa State does have some value here. I would put Oklahoma State maybe up there. I wouldn't put them ahead of Iowa State or Oklahoma just yet, but I think Oklahoma State could maybe sneak in the back door and maybe get themselves a spot in the title game. But all the pieces are there for Iowa State, like Shane said. Breece Hall, Brock Purdy are back. And, it just seems like Iowa State could be the logical team to dethrone Oklahoma. I'm still not sold on the Sooners defense. I don't think anybody has for a few years now. So if Iowa State can take advantage of that, all the value is here with the Cyclones.
All right, Iowa State to win the Big 12 championship, plus 300 from Shane Mickle. All right, Shane, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, tonight we got that rain out, but COVID out, game postponed. So we're seeing your numbers here in the NBA, over 2,400 units of profit. Of course, we got that big game coming up on Saturday, game number 5, Bucks and the Suns. And of course, Major League Baseball, we got a 15-game schedule tomorrow. What do you have planned going on over at the site?
Yeah, there's a couple MLB games tomorrow I'm already liking. But hop on something long-term. We got the NBA Finals again on Saturday. And the one thing that not many people are talking about that's coming up is the Olympics. There's NBA, soccer there, even some, not MLB, but some baseball. That's going to offer some betting value and that, could make their way into my premium card. So hop on something long-term and let's win all those sports.
Let's do so here with Shane Mickle over at Pig Dogs Premium. You see the numbers here, 2,459 units of profit in the NBA, document number 1. We know there's at least 2 more games in the finals, right? Because we got a 2-2 series tie. So get on board with that long-term pass. You can get a 3 or a 7-day pass from Shane Mickle over at Pig Dogs Premium and take those winnings and make the long-term investment. You go 1 month, or if you want to go ahead for the rest of the MLB season, you can do that with Shane. He has a rest of MLB season pass that will take you all the way to the final game of the World Series. If you had a second capper with that 2-for-1 promo, even better value. All right, Shane, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success, and we'll talk with you next week.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend, guys.
All right, Shane Mickle here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on more football talk now as we're going to go over to Damian Sachas. He's going to be taking a look at his team to win the NFC West. So let's go ahead and get Damian into the show right now. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium, where he's doing fantastic work up there for the past year, and even in Major League Baseball sitting atop the leaderboards. Damian, how's it going?
Hey guys, doing good.
All right, Damian, with football in the mind here, you're going to look here at the NFC West.
Yep, take a look at the NFC West. I was going to give you the obvious Notre Dame to win the national championship in college football, but I figured I'd go to a little bit more challenging thing here, and that's the 49ers to win the NFC West. Now this is arguably the toughest division of all of football, and it's also conceivable that all 4 of these teams make the playoffs out of this division. All teams do have question marks coming into the season. NFC West is it's just like everyone else. They all have question marks coming in as well. Is Stafford the answer for the Rams? Is Wilson, is he happy in Seattle? Or all the free agent pickups in Arizona, are they going to be able to mesh together? And the 49ers, obviously, is Jimmy Garoppolo the answer in San Francisco? Only the season playing out is going to answer all those questions. But I do know that George Kittle has his faith in Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's good enough for me right now. I do know that Kyle Shanahan, he's going to have a short leash on him, I think. They didn't trade up to draft Trey Lance at number 3 for nothing. So if Jimmy Garoppolo's slouching, I guarantee you, I think Kyle Shanahan has a plan in place. But to Jimmy Garoppolo's credit, he didn't pout when the 49ers drafted Trey Lance. What he did is he went to work and he got better. Now the 49ers, they finished last place last season, 6-10. One of the benefits is finishing 6-10. They get to play a last place schedule. The last time the 49ers played a last place schedule, they started out the season 8-0. Now last season, they were hit hard by injuries. No other team in the league was hit harder, lost more games to injury than the San Francisco 49ers. And I mean like big-name guys. We're talking Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo, or Mostert, Deebo Samuel, big-name players. Remember the 49ers, they're only a couple years removed from playing in the Super Bowl. They have a very good defense, a defense that's physical, can get after you, and they have a very physical running game. And that's going to keep them in every game, and I like their chances to win the NFC West this season.
All right, Damon says take San Francisco to win the NFC West at plus 200. The extra game is on the road against Cincinnati for them. And Chris, it was kind of a crazy year for the 49ers. They couldn't play it at home, right, because of the COVID situation up there in the Bay Area, I believe, some of the games.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how the home field advantage really pumps this team up. And like Damian said, if the quarterback situation can work itself out and stay healthy, if George Kittle and Deebo Samuel can stay on the field, the San Francisco 49ers have as good of a chance as anyone to take the NFC West this season. When you have to put out Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard, that's probably going to put you behind the eight ball in a lot of situations. I think you're 100% right. Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, one of them is going to lead the Niners, and I think they're going to lead the Niners to some success this year as well. I like the NFC West to be won by the 49ers.
I'm going to ask Damon this question because we look at some of the offenses and the quarterbacks in that NFC West. What's your thoughts here with the change of defensive coordinator, Salah going over the Jets?
Yeah, that's definitely a loss. Salah, he was a guy that he could motivate really motivate these players. They're going to have to replace some guys on defense, obviously. But, I like the return of Nick Bosa. There's a lot to work with there. So and I think they'll be able to come together and get the job done. I think they're going to be relying a lot on that defense this year. And I think they have the personnel there to do it.
Yeah, it is, and of course, tough quarterbacks there. You got Stafford now with the Rams. You got Wilson there in Seattle. Of course, that youngster there in Arizona, Murray. So they got that defensive coordinator there is going to have his work cut out for him there with San Francisco.
Yes.
Damon has the 49ers to win the NFC West at plus 200. All right, Damon, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, baseball begins again tomorrow. 15 games on the schedule. NBA back on Saturday, but football in front of us. What do you have going on over at the site?
Yeah, definitely a big slate of games there for baseball tomorrow. I'm going to have some baseball games on the card, definitely. And, the NBA Finals coming back this weekend, definitely have a play on that. So I'm looking forward to football starting to the season, getting back underway for baseball. Check me out for a 3-7 30-day plan. It's definitely your best value.
That's right, guys. Your best value with Damien Sosh over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the numbers here. In the past 30 days, 1,117 units of profit. He's producing great results in Major League Baseball. How about his MLB mid-season pass? Get every play from Damien now to the final pitch of the World Series. He's got that mid-season pass right now. A great value, great price, by the way, when you go and check it out over at Pick Dogs Premium, or if you want to try him out for every all sports. He's got a 7-day and a 3-day all sports pass there. Get every play Damon releases over at Pick Dogs Premium for that time period you choose when you go to the profile page and you make that purchase. All right, Damon, as always, great having your show. Continue that success, and we'll talk again next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, David Sash here on the drive. Let's continue here on our coverage, and we'll continue on. And now it's time for Chris. We're going to be looking here at the Mountain West. You got a couple of season win totals here from a couple teams in that Mountain West Conference as we're getting closer and closer here to the start of college football.
Absolutely. It's been a nice week for the college football previews, but all good things have to come to an end. And like Tony said, we're going to look at the Mountain West here. It's one of my favorite college football conferences to bet on. And we're going to look at 2 win totals I think we can put some bank on now and watch that investment come in nicely at the end of the year. And let's start with arguably the epitome of Mountain West football. Boise State Broncos made the conference championship game 5 times. They've won 3 since 2014. Brian Harsin installed a winning mentality, winning culture on the blue turf. Went 69-19 in 7 seasons, but now Harsin's at Auburn, and leaving the reins to Andy Avalos, who has the blessing of inheriting one of the Group of 5's best rosters from top to bottom. You got Hank Bachmeier or Jack Sears at quarterback, and running back George Halani, Khalif Shakir on the outside at wide receiver, or 4 offensive linemen that come back to anchor a line that helped score 34 points per game last year. And there's a lot of work to do. The Broncos allowed 7.1 points per game last year. Their worst single-season mark since Harsin's opening year in Boise. And the Broncos, they only had the second fewest turnovers per game in the country. Only had a Bowling Green, who we all loved on the drive-thru. They went 0-5 in their condensed max schedule. They were outscored 225-57 in their 5 games, just to put that into perspective. Now, there's not a whole lot of returning production for the Broncos on defense, but Avalos has a history of being defense first, and the turnover issue can only get better as the season goes on. There's only one way to go up. And, I think that if that turnover shakes itself out, the turnover issue, the offense is going to do its part to help the Broncos get back. Now, Boise State, from a schedule perspective, they have a few high-profile games. They start the year with UCF, but that's the only opponent that Vegas has with a higher win projection than Boise State this year. There's also home games against Oklahoma State, and a BYU team that's going to be in a bit of a rebuild, but that leaves Boise to feast on teams like UTEP, New Mexico, Utah State, Colorado State, all expected to finish with records below 500. Even the remaining games against Fresno State, Wyoming, San Diego State. I don't think there's anything less than 9 wins for the Birds. They punched another ticket to the Mountain West title game. But now we look at the other side, and this is arguably my favorite win total that we've done all week. I'm going to look at Nevada, who've been making some decent strides in the Mountain West under Jay Norville, but this play is strictly going to be based on recency and the schedule that Nevada has in front of them. Wolfpack went 7-2 last year, including their bowl win over Tulane. But you look at the two losses were against the only two teams that had a record above 500 on their schedule, San Jose State and Hawaii. The other 6 games on the regular season, they were wins, but against teams that had a combined record of 12-27. I can't hold that against Nevada. You only play what's in front of you. But it was a messed up year. We all know that. But this season, aside from a game against Idaho State in week 2, 3 other games just in the first 4 weeks on the road against Cal, Kansas State, and Boise State. That's not going to be easy. Hawaii always battles on the schedule. Fresno State should be better. Against those games against San Diego State and San Jose State, they're going to be tough as well. So you look at a 12-game schedule. If we chalk up those 3 tough games early on as all losses, and the games against San Diego State and San Jose State, well, that could be the nail in the coffin with 5 losses and the total set at 7.5 for a team that's only won 8 games once in the last 10 years. I love the under with Nevada on this one.
All right, Chris says go under here with Nevada. The Mountain West Conference wins. Boise over 9.5. Mountain West Conference wins. All right, Chris. So one thing with Boise, they didn't run the ball that well. Under 4 yards a carry last year, and Nevada pretty experienced on offense. An offense that put up 31 points a game last year.
Absolutely, but I think that the thing with Nevada was just who they had in front of them. And when you play teams that are combined 12-27 in your 6 wins, I think they're going to make the offense look pretty good. And the fact is that the Wolfpack struggled in those 2 games that they lost. Yes, they kept the game against Hawaii close. And San Jose State, well, we have to really see how San Jose State does this year. But, the proof was in the pudding last year, and I think that, Nevada's going to struggle. Now, you look at Boise State. This is always a team that's going to be tough to beat on the blue turf. It's one of the harder home environments in all of college football. And, yes, the run defense struggled, but the Broncos still found a way to move the football. And if the run game wasn't going, well, the pass game made up for it, and vice versa. I think this year, it is a tough schedule. And 9.5 is a big number, but we've seen it from Boise State in the past that they're more than capable of doing it, and I think they're more than capable of doing it again this year.
All right, Chris is on over 9.5 wins here. Boise State and Nevada with the under 7.5. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pig Dogs. Well, tomorrow, as we talked about, baseball back with a 15-game schedule. NBA Saturday, football around the corner. We've seen you showing some positive here past 7 days. What you going to have up over at the site?
Well, tomorrow we're going to have some baseball coming back. I'm excited for that, as well as the NBA Finals on the weekend. But, guys, big news. I turned the big 3-0 on Saturday. So we're going to have some special stuff going on my page over at Pick Dogs Premium to celebrate. We're going to have some specials on the term passes. I'll have some daily passes up there, as well as the season passes. And the 2-for-1 capper deal. I can't affect that, but that's still going to be some of the best value on the website. Get 2 great cappers for 1 fantastic price. But, guys, keep in mind, like I said, check my page over the course from Friday and Saturday. Give me some great value for you guys to take advantage of. And, definitely check it out. We're going to pick you some winners, and we're going to put some cash in your pocket heading into college football and NFL season.
That's right. Get some money in your pocket here. Chris will have his early season NFL and college football season packages up there soon. We see right now he's got his MLB season pass right now until the final game of the World Series. You can get on board with Chris there over at Pick Dogs Premium with his MLB season pass. If you'd like to get on board with a long-term pass, as tomorrow we get started again with that 15-game schedule in baseball, a 3, 7, and 30-hour sports pass will get you every play that Chris releases over at Pick Dogs Premium for that time period. Just choose when you go over to the profile page and make that purchase. If you add the second capper with the 2-for-1 capper promotion, you get even greater value. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. And let's welcome right now to the show James Clark, who struck it well, nearly 12-1 prop yesterday on Devin Booker to get 40 or greater points. He got him to 42. Let's go ahead and bring him in right now. And this James Clark, who's done fantastic work in the NBA at number 2 for the season. James, congratulations on that big win yesterday.
Appreciate it, Tony. I wished I would won the game and won my 2 premium plays, but I'm glad I could give everybody at least a winner. And not two losers. Or
That's
three
right.
losers.
A nice 12-1 return there with that pick on the show. All right, James, you're going to be looking at NFL, and specifically, you're going to be looking at a player prop here from Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, guys. Everybody knows every time McCaffrey steps on the field, he gives 110%. He's probably one of the hardest players to play the game in the NFL. I like the way he goes about the game and everything. Every year he could actually be like, MVP of the league. A lot of the statistics with that, go with the teams winning and stuff like that. They getting close to the Super Bowl or playoffs and stuff like that. Well, this is one that don't have to do with really the team statistics. It's comeback player of the year at plus 700 for a guy that's could be MVP any year. I mean, the numbers he puts up when he is healthy on the field, scoring a touchdown, making the catches out of the backfield. You've seen we've seen the numbers he put up. He was down all last year, hurt, and for him to get plus 700 for him to be comeback player of the year I think is a fantastic steal, and it's something that I'm definitely betting on. Like I said, he's a MVP type of player, and like I said, your team don't have to be to do good for you to get this comeback player of the year. You just have to be good, and he is an all-star and definitely in the NFL.
All right, James Clark here looking at the Christian McCaffrey comeback player of the year at plus 700. Just a player that comes to mind, Chris, that could probably give him a run for it is Dak Prescott, who missed most of the season last year.
Well, of course. I mean, you look at Dak Prescott in a, for lack of a better term, a very public Dallas Cowboys team that's going to get a lot of notoriety with probably a lot of primetime games with the Dallas Cowboys. The spotlight's going to be on Dak, but I think that's where we get the value with McCaffrey. McCaffrey, Mr. Do-It-All. And, I think he does it here as well. I just think it's, Christian McCaffrey, I've always been just watching him and marveling at what he does. And I think it's, again, another year where he's going to have to shoulder a very heavy load, but that's just going to give him greater odds to uproot Prescott at the top of that ladder. I like McCaffrey in the value here as well.
Yeah, Garoppolo's another one you're going to have to dodge there as well in that. But again, one thing to note here with McCaffrey, James, is he gets a lot of touches, but coming off that injury season where he missed 13 games, will he get as many opportunities with Rule? We know Rivera really relied on him.
I think he will, just because he was. I mean, I know he was hurt, but just because he was off pretty much the whole season, he's going to be rested up, more healthy. He tacked the weights. He bulked up last year to get ready for last season. He's got even bigger. Another name I'll throw out there that may definitely give him a contender is what Trey was talking about earlier with the Giants, Saquon Barkley. Yeah. I look for him to come back too big, and they're both plus 700. I mean, I really like Christian McCaffrey, but I can see Barkley being right there with him.
All right, James here looking at McCaffrey here, comeback play of the year, plus 700 with that Carolina Panthers right now. All right, James, why don't you let us know what's going on over at Pick Dogs? Pretty much we talked about baseball back tomorrow with 15 games. Of course, the NBA is back on Saturday. Football around the corner. We see our numbers in the NBA, nearly 1,900 units of profit. Document number 2. What are you going to have up at the site?
Well, guys, right now, like I said, come Monday, I got my year pass going on. I dropped it down. It's $83 a month, so it's a good deal. Like I said, you get all sports. Tomorrow we'll probably have to come back to the MLB 5-pack. Usually I have 5 games. I usually look towards the evening games. I don't know usually why I do that, but for some reason I like the evening games better than the early games for some reason. I guess I'm home and get to watch them. I guess that's a big thing, but I usually like the evenings games more. But, guys, just take advantage of all the deals and stuff's going on, guys. And then I'll have a couple more picks for the NBA Finals. We got us a series here, guys. To be honest, I didn't think it'd be here. I didn't think they'd be 2-2 right now. 3-1, yeah, 2-2, no. But guys, jump on a long pass, get the 3, 7, or 30 days, or team me up with any of the guys on here. My buddy Trey Jordan, Chris, Tony T, Tony Brown, Big Al, Little Al, Shane, any of the guys on here. Like I say, every time I get on here, we have the best cappers in the world, and we do have the best cappers in the world. So team me up with one of them, and let's put some money in your pockets, guys.
Yeah. Money in your pocket here from James Clark over at Pick Dog. Let me see the numbers here. 1,867 units of profit in the NBA this season. Document number 2. Visit his profile page over at Pick Dog, James, and you'll be able to find every play that is released. It's fully transparent. Get on board with those long-term passes. We talked about this one-year pass. So within your budget, it's reduced price. It comes out to about $83.33 a month. You'll get every play from James Clark for the entire year. Think about that. That's the entire football season, NFL and college football. Playoffs as well as bowl games. You've got an entire NBA season coming up because it's going to finish in June next year. You got an entire NHL season that's going to finish in June next year. Baseball for a year. Great value right now from James Clark over at Pick Dog Premium with that one-year pass. If it's within your budget, it amounts to $83.33 a month for every play from James over at Pick Dog Premium. Get on board with that. You add the second capper, 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater savings there. James, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk with you again soon.
All right, Tony. I appreciate you having me on the show, buddy, and I'll see you. If not tomorrow, I'll see y'all next week.
You got it. James Clark here on the drive-thru. All right, let's continue on here with the coverage. Guys, if you missed any of the picks, we're going to do a full recap at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. And, of course, those likes, those thumbs up, keep them coming in. We greatly appreciate that. All right, now it's time for my play. We're going to look at an MLB future. I've been on the futures in baseball this year, and let me go ahead and pull up the game information for you. We're going to be looking here at this Washington Nationals team. A real big disappointment. Of course, they've had issues in the starting staff with their hitting, and of course the big guy, one of their arms down with an injury. So let's go ahead and put that pick up for you right now. We're going to look at the Nationals to go under 78.5 wins, the adjusted number here. As we hit the All-Star break, while the Nationals a 42-47 record, they have 71 games remaining. They must win 37 of 73 to hit the adjusted season win total. That would be a record of 37-36. So I'm betting on them to go under 500 the rest of the way. The starting staff is led by Max Scherzer, but Patrick Corbin, Joe Ross been inconsistent. Eric Fetty, John Lester have struggled. Steven Strasburg has been sidelined with a neck injury, expected back late in the month. Will that be enough? I don't think so. Nationals sit in the lower half of baseball in run production and homers. At home, Washington just 2 games over 500. They're 7 games under 500 on the road. They sit with a 3% chance to make the playoffs. So there could be lots of minor leaguers on the field the final 10 games of the season. Strasburg coming off an injury. Do you think he'll be there when these games mean nothing? I don't. So I'm going to go Nationals under 78.5 wins, Chris.
Tony, I can't disagree with you. Everybody's going to say, he agrees with everybody. No, I can't disagree with you here because realistically, you look at the 5 pitchers for the Nationals, 5 starters, because I rely heavily on starting pitching. Max Scherzer is the only one with a double-digit starts and an ERA under 4. Like you said, Patrick Corbin has had peaks and valleys this year. John Lester really starting to show his age. Eric Fetty just hasn't been able to really cut it. We like Paolo Espino on the show, but again, we haven't seen enough of him to really have an impact. Maybe he'll see some starts down the stretch, but I don't see anything besides Scherzer to get us anywhere close to 78.5. I think we may even finish under 70, to be honest with you.
All right, there. Agreement here. Washington Nationals under 78.5 wins. They just got if they go under if they go 36 and 37 the rest of the way, it's a winner there. Guys, check out Pick Dogs Premium. I'm also part of that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Of course, you can match me up with any of the cappers out there, with James Clark, with Chris Ruffalo, with the host 2-for-1. We got Rod Zawacki. We got Al Ninos, Little Al, as well as Big Al McMorty. That 2-for-1 cap promotion. Get on board with my 3, 7, and 30 Sports Pass. And I'll have more plays for you tomorrow as we continue the games tomorrow with a 15-game schedule. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Now it's time to do the show recap. And let's take a recap of today's show. James Clark will join us as he does on Thursday. We start off with Trey. Trey was on the Giants, New York Giants, over 7 wins at -130. Al Ninos, New York Jets, under 6 wins at -115. Tony Brown, Pittsburgh Steelers, under 8.5 wins. Shane Mickle, Iowa State to win the Big 12 championship, +300. Damian says San Francisco 49ers to win the NFC West at +200. Chris says Boise State over 9.5 wins. Nevada under 7.5 wins. James, Christian McCaffrey, comeback player of the year, plus 700. Yours truly, Washington Nationals, under 78.5 wins. We'll start with Chris. Other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
Well, I've got to agree with Al. I see no way that the Jets get anywhere near 6 wins. I think that's an under all day.
All right, looking at the under there. All right, let's go over to James. James, other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
I like Shane's pick, Iowa State to win the Big 12. I mean, besides West Virginia going to win it. I mean, besides Oklahoma going to win it, I see Iowa State winning. They played good last year. You know, they stepped up. They played some big games and some big environments, and I think they get it done this year.
You know, I was thinking I'm going to go with James. Christian McCaffrey, comeback player of the year. He gets a lot of touches, plus 700. They seem to like him. And, of course, I'll go that route here. Christian McCaffrey, comeback player of the year, plus 700. All right, that'll do for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. We're back tomorrow. We'll have 8 cappers booked on the show, giving out live free sports picks for the games in primetime. And we'll have 15 games tomorrow for Major League Baseball, so we'll have a lot of picks from baseball. So be sure to tune in. And don't forget, it all gets started in the morning, 10 a.m., I should say, 10 a.m. Eastern time, back to the old new time. The new old time, I should say, back to 10 a.m. Eastern time. With the morning show, we got Mitch, we got Rod Zawacki, Brian Bittler, and don't forget those YouTube member VIP premium shows. Follow the link below and get signed up. Let's bring in our crew from Night Show. We'll wave you guys good night. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk to you guys